welcome back to my channel. Today's video we are going to be doing the mid-year book tag. I did this last year and I had a lot of fun with it because it's just so good to go back and reflect on what you've read from the year. If you do the Goodreads book reading challenge every year, it's good to see like how far you are, if you're on track, if you're behind. So we're going to start off first with all of my book stats of the year. I feel like I'm reading slower this year than I have in the past. I've read 30 books so far this year. My book goal is 85 books, which I'm way less than half of that goal. So I don't think I'm going to make it this year unless I really start pushing out books. My average rating is 3.4 stars, which sounds about right. I have not had that many 5 stars. Which brings me to the next stat. Number of 5-star books read is 4. And one of those is a reread. So if that's showing how my year is going, then that's it. And then the number of books in each genre. So romance is 26, which that sounds about accurate. I'm a very big romance author. I'm a very big romance reader. 6 of them are fantasy, which fantasy romance. They're probably part of those 26. 6 were fiction, which I don't know how they really... This is on Fable, so I don't know how they really categorize them. Young adult, which is 5, and then sports romance, which is 2. My 2 most read authors. 4 books I read of Lila Sages, and then 3 books I read of Abby Jimenez. Okay, now we're going to get to the questions. So the best book I've read so far this year, that would have to be Kingdom of Ash. This is the last book in the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. This book, I feel like, it's such a journey going through Throne of Glass. It's so long. There's a lot of books, a lot of characters, a lot of emotions that you're feeling while you're reading them. And this one has a lot packed in this brick of a book. I feel like it wraps up the story so well. There's definitely more that I want to see from the series. I know she said it's technically completed, but I'm hoping we get something with 2 characters in here. I'm not going to say who they are because I know spoilers are a huge thing with this series, but yeah, this series I highly recommend. It's very popular for a good reason. This is one of my all-time favorite fantasy series. And then the next question, best sequel you've read so far in 2025. That would have to be Bade, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams. I love this series so much. I'm really sad that we only have 1 book left. It's a small town series. Each book takes place with a sibling. So the first book is the brother, and then we get all 3 of the sisters. So this one is the oldest sister. I cannot recommend this series enough as well. Her books are just so warm and cozy and happy. Like, you just feel so good reading her books. The next question is all 5 stars you read so far in 2025. Well, 2 of them are the books I just showed, Kingdom of Ash and Bade, Borrow, or Steal. And then this was a reread, Magnolia Parks. I think I read this one first, the beginning of 2024. So I wanted to go back and reread the entire series. I really love the series. I know it is kind of, you either love it or you hate it, and the people that hate it really hate it, I feel like. But I love the series. I love the characters, and it just feels like you're like living in their lives and you're like a fly on the wall. Like, you're seeing all of the stuff that like no one else sees. They're like in the public eye a lot, and they always have people watching them, paparazzi, everything, and we get to see like stuff that happens behind closed doors. And I love like the rich people drama. I know I've said this many times and people have also said it. This is why I wanted to read it, but it's Gossip Girl set in the UK in book form. And I definitely agree with that. And then the last book I read that was a 5-star was Onyx Storm. It did feel like a 5-star because I was reading it and I was shocked and crying and feeling all these strong emotions reading it. And just because it is the 3rd book in the series, so you're already so connected to the characters and the story, and the way this one ended is should be illegal, because I'm just desperate for the next book, and I don't know when we'll get it. Hopefully sooner rather than later. I know some people were disappointed, but I feel like it was pretty good. A new release that you have not read yet but want to. That would have to be The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. This one came out in, was it April? May? Around that? It says, it's a gothic mist-cloaked tale of a young prophetess, I don't think I'm saying that right, who is forced on an impossible quest with the one knight whose future she cannot see. I don't really want to know what this is about because I don't want to spoil anything for myself. I think this is going to be a duology, another duology, and I have not read anything by her. Her other duology is very popular. It's been on my TBR for a very long time. I just have not gotten to it. But this one's really intriguing me because I've heard such good things about it, and people like this more than One Dark Window, which that one's so popular. So I'm really excited, and I love this cover. It's the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, which I need to take all these off. But it's shimmery and I just love it. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year, that has to be Soul Searching by Lila Sage. I cannot wait for this book. I went through and read the entire Rebel Blue Ranch one after the other, and I need more from her. And this one, I think it takes place in a town nearby, I think. This comes out September 30th, so we're almost there. So it says it's featuring a small town upholsterer in need of a fresh start, a photographer whose life has come to a screeching halt, and the supernatural forces that bring them together. So it's about Collins and Brady. Yeah, it takes place in Sweetwater Peak, which I think we hear about that town in one, is it the last book in Rebel Blue? I feel like I've heard it. My biggest disappointment of the year, that 1000% has to be Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. When I think about my favorite authors, I would classify Ali as being one of my favorite romance authors. Until recently, I don't know what it is, but this one and Problematic Summer Romance just did not hit for me. I don't know why. This one, I think it was the main male character. I did not really like him in the beginning anyways, and I feel like the main female character was a little immature and annoying to me personally. I know a lot of people love this book, but that's just how I felt reading it, and I ended up not even finishing it, which is disappointing because when I first started reading, Ali was one of my all-time favorite authors. I loved every book that she wrote, and I feel like it might just be the STEM romances that I like The Love Hypothesis, Love Theoretically. Those are two of my favorite from her. So I don't know if that's what it is. But I liked Bride too. I love Bride. So I don't know. I'm still gonna try all of her books until it becomes like a Tessa Bailey situation and I just can't like any of her books. So yeah, it was a disappointment for me personally. Okay, that brings me to all DNFs from this year. The first one was Deep End. And then this was actually the first DNF that I had from this year. I've talked about it before, but I did not like it at all. I think I got 30% or something. I just don't think her books are for me. I don't know if I will read any more of her books. The only ones that I may try to read is the Kings of Sin series, but I'm probably done reading this series. And then one that was really disappointing, What Happens in Amsterdam by Rachel Lynn Solomon. This cover is so cute. That's why I was so excited to read it. I haven't read anything from her before this book, but I was just very bored. I was falling asleep every time I would go to read this before bed, and I decided, you know, I'm not going to force myself to read books I'm not feeling. So I put it to the side for now. I may try to pick it up again It was nothing that really bugged me about this book to the point where I won't go back and read it, but it was just very boring and I wasn't connected to the characters at all. The setting, I do like the setting. It takes place in Amsterdam, and I feel like she's really good about all the details and making you feel like you are in that setting. And then the last DNF, I don't have the physical copy, Our Infinite Fates by Laura Steven. When I saw what it was about, I was really interested and like I needed to read it because it seemed so like it was gonna be so good. I just think it fell flat for me. My biggest surprise, People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I read this probably 3 years ago and I remembered not liking it. And my goal for this year, I wanted to go and reread all of her books. And this one is becoming a movie soon. It should be soon, in the next couple months, on Netflix. And I wanted to reread it before that comes out. And I really loved it. I love Alex and Poppy. This is like what I think of when I think of Emily Henry's writing. And there's just something that she puts in her books that makes them so good. This one, they are two best friends. They've taken summer trips every year for the last 10 years. And something happens where they don't speak for a couple of years. And she's kind of in this rut at her job. She's supposed to kind of go on trips or vacations, and she misses the way it used to be when she had her blog, and she would go with Alex and they would do vacations cheaply. So she messages him and says, hey, my job is sending me at this place, which is a lie. She's paying for it. She just wants to see him and feel how she felt when they did vacations before, and he agrees to go. So we see kind of what happened when they met in college until like what broke them up a little bit, and then we also see present day. I love Emily Henry. She is probably in my top 5 romance authors, and this one is not my favorite Emily Henry book, but it's up there. Now we're gonna do favorite new author, Carly Fortune. I feel like her books are a staple for the summer. So since it came out in 2022, I've been seeing it a lot, especially every summer I see it, and I decided this summer I'm gonna just read and see if I like it. And I really liked it. It's Second Chance, Friends to Lovers. This one we see past and present, and they had a falling out. We get to see what happened, and then after not seeing each other for how many years, she goes back to Barry's Bay and she runs into him, and we see them reconnect. Newest fictional crush. I'm picking Hayden from Great Bay Beautiful Life. Like I said, Emily Henry is one of my favorite romance authors. One of the things I love about her books is her main male characters. I really enjoyed this one because I feel like in the beginning we see him as kind of not too nice, especially with the situation that they're in, but he's such a sweetheart. Just everything that he would do for Alice. Newest favorite character. It's not really new, but I'm gonna pick Henry Valentine from the Magnolia Park series. He is BJ's younger brother and Magnolia's best friend. He's just always there for everyone, and I love seeing his character. I hope we get to see more of him in all the other books, but I feel like he just needs his own love story because he's always there for everyone else. I love him. He's funny, he says what's on his mind, he sticks up for his friends. Like, he is my favorite from the series. And I've read it before, but I don't remember really liking him like that much, but he really stuck out to me during the reread. A book that made you cry. I didn't have much of those this year, I feel like, but I remember Honor Storm. This one made me cry the most. Just because, like I said earlier, we're so connected to the story and the characters, and the things that happen in this book is really heart-wrenching. A book that made you happy. I don't have the physical copy, but Heartless Hunter. This one was really good. It made me happy because it gave me that feeling that a really good young adult fantasy gives you. It had like the good banter, it had the good storyline, the good characters, and it made me really excited to read more fantasies, which I was kind of in a fantasy rut at the time, so it made me really excited to read more fantasies. The most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or received, and that hands down has to be my dragon book. I got this on Etsy. It is very expensive, but I mean, it's so cool and unique. And the back is the dragon scales, and I needed Terran on my shelf. This is all handmade, and the guy's very nice that makes them. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? First one, First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. This one I have had for a while, and I've also been really wanting to read it. I feel like just because I've heard really good things about it, and it's a lot of people's favorite romances of the year. Yeah, I've been really excited for this one. And then she has another like kind of paranormal-y Christmas book coming out called Good Spirits. That one I really want to read. And then the rest of the series. I think the other one comes out early next year. Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. This is her new release. I don't know how I haven't read this yet. Ashley Poston, she's another one in my top 3 romance authors. And I've been really excited to read this. I'm excited to read any book that she writes. And then I want to read the rest of the Magnolia Park series. I have not read any of these yet. I've only read the first one, First Magnolia Parks, First Daisy Hates. And I want to finish the series just because it is really good and I'm really enjoying it. And then continuing on with that, The Conditions of Will. So this one is her newest release that came out in April. And this one takes place in the same universe as Magnolia Parks. I believe we see the main female character in one of the Magnolia Parks books. And then she has another new release coming out July 15th. And I'm excited for that one too. And then Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. This is the companion novel to Better Than the Movies. And these are young adult, and I really enjoy her young adult books. Those are my favorite from her. She's just, when I think of my favorite young adult author, it would be Lynn Painter. I don't know what it is about her young adult books, but I just really connect with the characters, even though I'm not a young adult. But this one, I think we see is Wes and Liz in college and kind of see how their relationship has changed. And yeah, that's about all I know about it. And then the only physical copy I own, but I want to finish all of Carly Fortune's books. I don't know if I'll get to all of them this year, but I for sure want to read One Golden Summer. Ultimately, I want to finish all of her books. And then a fantasy series, I want to read Crescent City. This one, I also don't know if I will get to by the end of the year, but, you know, it's a goal that I have. I also don't know if I should reread ACOTAR before I read this one, because I know they are closely related somehow. I just really want to finish all of her books because I'm surprised I haven't seen any spoilers. But I'm just kind of in a tough spot because, again, I don't know if I should reread ACOTAR, and I don't know when the next book in ACOTAR will be out. So yeah, I don't know. But eventually I do really want to finish this series, or get to the series. And then I want to read One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. This is by Rachel Gillard, the one that wrote The Night and the Moth. And this is another dark, gothic, duology fantasy romance. I feel like I'll really enjoy her books, but I'm hoping. I want to finish all of Abby Jimenez's books. So these are the last 2 that I have. The second and third book in the, I forget what the series is called. It's like the Friend Zone series. I read the Friend Zone and really enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it as much as Part of Your World or that series, but I want to finish her books, sadly. But then, you know, I always look forward to her releases every year because she is another one of my favorite authors. 5-star predictions for the rest of the year. A lot of these are new releases that aren't out yet. The first one is Brimstone. This is the second book in like the Quicksilver series. I forget what the series is actually called. But this comes out November 18th. And I'm just really excited because I did really enjoy Quicksilver. And I'm excited to see where that story takes off from the end of that book. And then Good Spirits by B.K. Borison. I talked about this one a little bit earlier. That comes out October 7th. And this one's kind of like a paranormal Christmas. I think he's like the ghost of Christmas past or something. I don't know. But I've been really excited just because the cover is like right up my alley. It's really cute. And then Alchemy of Secrets, that also comes out October 7th. This is Stephanie Garber's new adult debut. She's the author of Caraval, my favorite series of all time. And then Once Upon a Broken Heart, that's another one of my favorite series. So I feel like that will be a 5-star. And then Fake Skating by Lynn Painter. This comes out September 30th. This is her new young adult romance of the year. And like I said, she's one of my favorite young adult authors, so I'm really excited for that one. And then I brought this one up earlier, Soul Searching, that also comes out September 30th. That's by Lila Sage, and I feel like that could be definitely a 5-star. And then The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy. This one I feel like I'm going to really like. I don't know why it gives Assistant to the Villain vibes to me. I don't know if it's the cover, but I feel like this one will be highly ranked for myself. And then we have 2 questions left. A book that you enjoyed that has mixed reviews, and that would be Quicksilver. I've heard a lot of people think that it is overhyped, but I personally really loved it. And it's just a really good fantasy. And then a book you didn't enjoy with mixed reviews, Our Infinite Fates. This one, I think it has like high 3.7 something stars on Goodreads, and a lot of the people that I am friends with on Goodreads really enjoyed it, but I just personally did not. But those are all of the questions on my mid-year book tag. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.